Rapid TV.
Rapid TV.
Keep watching.
Keep it down.
Leave it like that.
Voice within with powerful content across TV, radio, and digital. Join us at rbnradiotv.com and all our social media handles. One network, one voice. Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. The sound of your city. Rooted in truth. Driven by impact.
My name is Akio Sakido.
Hey guys, this is Anto Lecky.
My name is Theo Bliss.
My name is Akava. I go by the name Baba D. And you're tuned into Rapid TV.
And I love Rapid TV.
Shout out.
Rapid TV. Thank you, Rapid TV. Please keep watching
Rapid TV. This is Rapid TV.
Rapid TV.
Keep watching.
Keep it down.
Leave it like that.
This is Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. We connect people, power stories, and amplify voices. On Rapid TV, we're rooted in culture and your window to the stories that matter. From news to lifestyle, we inform, entertain, and uplift. Join Rapid TV on Star Times Channel 176, Nightcom Sat. On Rapid FM, we speak your language from the soulful airwaves of Umuahia to the vibrant culture of Port Harcourt and beyond. More than broadcasters, we're creators, amplifying that voice within with powerful content across TV, radio, and digital. Join us at rbnradiotv.com and all our social media handles. One network, one voice. Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. The sound of your city. Rooted in truth. Driven by impact.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Rapid Television News. I am Godwin Amunde. In the headlines, Nigeria honors fallen serving military heroes. Police snap Ngige, convoy attackers, 2 killed in gunfight. Non-oil sector lifts Nigerians H2 2025 growth, says OPEC. Minneapolis protests after ICE agent shoots Venezuelan migrant. Wabali Basi named AFCON semis best. Details of this and more will come to you in the bulletin. Now the news in detail. Nigeria on Thursday marked the 2026 Armed Forces Remembrance Day with solemn ceremonies across the country, paying tribute to military personnel who laid down their lives in service to the nation. The commemoration termed Value, Sacrifice, and Unity, honoring our heroes, underscored the nation's gratitude for their courage and dedication. The report. Nigeria marked Armed Forces Remembrance Day 2026 with solemn ceremonies nationwide, honoring the sacrifices of military personnel who lost their lives serving the nation. The theme, Value, Sacrifice, and Unity, honoring our heroes, reflected the occasion's significance. In Abuja, Vice President Kashim Shettima led dignitaries, including Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Minister of Defense Christopher Musa, in laying wreaths at the National Arcade.
To commemorate the solemnity of this precious moment.
Don't use camera.
Same. I'm reporting also.
So because I'm using phone, I should drop.
But they watch you. Is there a problem? I want to play that.
The 21-gun salute is also observed. This solemn ceremony honors the sacrifices of military personnel who lost their lives serving the nation, including those who fought in World Wars I and II, the Nigerian Civil War, and peacekeeping missions. Pigeons have a significant role in Nigerians' Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebrations, symbolizing peace, unity, and freedom. The release of white pigeons during the event is a tribute to the nation's fallen heroes, representing the country's hopes for lasting peace and harmony. The event commemorated the end of the Nigerian Civil War and recognized soldiers' bravery in World Wars I and II, peacekeeping missions, and internal security operations. President Bola Tinubu, represented by the Vice President Kashim Shettima, reaffirmed the government's commitment to supporting the military and their families. The events included interdenominational prayers, a military parade, and a gala night. Minister of Defense Christopher Musa emphasized recognizing both fallen and serving soldiers as well as their families. Abuja, Godwin Amundi, Rapid Television News. President Bola Tinubu says sustained military operations against terrorists and criminal groups are restoring peace across Nigeria. Speaking in Abuja at the 2026 Armed Forces Remembrance Gala, the president, represented by Information Minister Mohammed Idris, praised the armed forces for improved safety in once volatile communities, crediting stronger coordination and consistent pressure on criminal networks. He added that collaboration with regional and international partners has boosted public confidence while honoring fallen heroes whose sacrifices underpin Nigerians' unity and democracy. Tinubu unveiled two initiatives, the Tank A Soldier Digital Wall and the My Nigerian Hero campaign, to recognize service personnel. He reaffirmed security as a top priority, pledging continued investment in equipment, training, and welfare. Defense Minister Christopher Musa also hailed the courage of serving and retired officers honored at the event. Abia State Governor Alex Otti has called for unity and peace as the nation marks Armed Forces Remembrance Day. He urged Abia residents to embrace peace, unity, and responsible citizenship, warning against extremism and divisive rhetoric. Speaking at the 2026 Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day in Umuahia, Otti says violence has no place in Abia or Nigeria, stressing that lessons from the 1966 coup and civil war must guide present actions. He commended security agencies for improving safety across urban and rural areas, noting that their efforts have revived economic activities, especially in agriculture. The governor also paid tribute to fallen officers, announcing welfare support for their families, including scholarships for children. Otti reaffirmed his administration's commitment to diplomacy, tolerance, and continued support for security agencies to sustain peace across the state. Political uncertainty continues in Rivers State as the House of Assembly failed to reconvene. The Assembly, led by Speaker Martin Amuihule, failed to resume plenary on Thursday, despite an earlier adjournment to January 15th. The House had, during its first sitting of 2026, initiated impeachment proceedings against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy over allegations of gross misconduct. However, as of noon, lawmakers did not reconvene at the temporary legislative complex along Aba Road. No official explanation was given and no new date announced. Attempts to reach the House Committee Chairman on Information, Eneme George, for clarification were unsuccessful. Meanwhile, political observers say they delayed the pains uncertainty surrounding the impeachment process. A political group in Kano is warning former Governor Rabiu Kwankwaso over alleged inflammatory comments. The Kano People's Right Alliance, KPRA, cautioned Senator Kwankwaso against what it described as misleading allegations against Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf's administration. The group dismissed claims that the state government is coercing officials to defect to APC, describing them as unfounded and capable of inciting unrest. KPRA accused Kwankwaso of confrontational politics driven by personal ambition, warning that such rhetoric could destabilize Kano State. The group praised Governor Yusuf's commitment to democratic values and peaceful governance, urging political leaders to prioritize stability over partisan interest amid rising political tensions in the state. A federal high court in Abuja has struck out criminal charges filed by the federal government against Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan after prosecutors withdrew the charges. Justice Chizoba Orji granted a notice of discontinuance, discharged the senator's sureties, and ordered the return of all seized documents. Akpoti-Uduaghan was arraigned in June 2025 on charges linked to alleged defamatory statement involving Senator President Godswill Akpabio and former Kogi Governor Yahaya Bello. Reacting after the ruling, the senator described the outcome as a vindication of her faith in the rule of law, reaffirming her commitment to democratic values and service to her constituents. The political crisis in Rivers State has taken another turn, with two more members of the Rivers State House of Assembly withdrawing support for the impeachment process against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy Ngozi Udu. The lawmakers, Barile Wako and Emilia Amadi, announced their decision following interventions by respected leaders and stakeholders in the state. They explained that although concerns remained over alleged constitutional breaches, peace and stability must take priority. With their withdrawal, 4 lawmakers have now distanced themselves from the impeachment move, initially backed by 26 legislators. The lawmakers called for dialogue rather than confrontation to resolve the political impasse rocking the state. As the House prepares to reconvene, observers say the growing calls for restraints may weaken momentum for impeachment and open the door for reconciliation among rival political factions. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is stepping up preparations for upcoming elections. INEC has published a revised voters register for the February 21st FCT area council elections, showing over 1.6 million registered voters. INEC described the update as a statutory requirement aimed at ensuring transparency and credibility. The Commission also announced the resumption of continuous voter registration in Anambra State ahead of future polls. INEC says the exercise will allow eligible citizens to register, update details, or replace lost permanent voter cards. Officials assured voters that the collection of PVCs will commence soon, with dates to be announced. INEC urged citizens to take advantage of the registration window, stressing that participation remains key to strengthening Nigeria's democratic process. Police in Anambra State have recorded a major breakthrough against criminal gangs with the arrest of members of a gang linked to the attack on the convoy of former Labour Minister Senator Chris Ngige, with 2 suspects killed during a gun battle. According to police spokesperson Tochukwu Ikenga, operatives of the Rapid Response Squad ambushed the 5-man gang at Enugu Agidi Junction following credible intelligence. 2 suspects died during the exchange, while others escaped with injuries. Police recovered rifles, ammunition, charms, and a vehicle. 1 suspect reportedly confessed involvement in the Ngige convoy attack. The Commissioner of Police has ordered a manhunt for fleeing suspect and urged hospitals to report gunshot injury cases promptly. Edo State government has released students arrested during the Ekpo Mines security protest. Students of Ambrose Ali University arrested after a protest over insecurity in Ekpoma have regained their freedom. Edo State government has confirmed. The protest, initially peaceful, turned violent after hoodlums hijacked it, leading to looting and destruction. Governor Monday Okpeholo met with their students, assuring them of dialogue and reforms, while condemning violence. He announced an increase in AAU's monthly subvention from 41 million naira to 500 million naira, and disclosed plans to address 41 billion naira salary arrears. The governor urged students to pursue grievances peacefully and vowed that criminals would not find refuge in Edo State. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Igbetokun, has reaffirmed the Nigerian police force's commitment to stronger interagency collaboration, describing it as critical to national security and effective governance. The police chief gave the assurance while receiving the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Emomotimi Agama, and his management team during a courtesy visit to the force headquarters in Abuja. Our correspondent Nathan Williams reports.
The visit provided an opportunity for both institutions to reaffirm their commitment to interagency cooperation aimed at strengthening national security, economic stability, and investor confidence in Nigeria's financial system. Speaking during the meeting, the Director General of the SEC commended the Nigerian Police Force for its sustained effort in maintaining law and order across the country, as well as its continued support to the Commission in the discharge of its regulatory and enforcement responsibilities. He particularly acknowledged the professionalism and responsiveness of the force in addressing issues bordering on capital market infractions and financial crimes. The SEC DG further expressed the Commission's desire to deepen its partnership with the Nigerian Police Force, particularly through enhanced collaboration with the Nigerian Police Force National Cybercrime Center, citing the center's proven capacity and advanced operational capability in addressing cyber-enabled financial crimes. He emphasized that closer synergy would further strengthen regulatory enforcement, intelligence sharing, and capacity building in tackling emerging threats within the capital market ecosystem.
This is where our authority, as the SEC, meets its necessary complements: your power, Nigerian Police Force, your reach, and your effective mandate. The Nigerian Police Force is the primary law enforcement agency with national presence, the investigative muscles, and the constitutional authority to track, apprehend, and bring these criminals to justice. Where we identify the illegality and the regulatory breach, you possess the apparatus for criminal investigation, arrest, and prosecution.
In his remark, the Inspector General of Police warmly welcomed the SEC delegation and appreciated the Commission for the confidence reposed in the Nigerian Police Force. The IGP further noted that effective policing in the modern era thrives on strong institutional cooperation and assured the delegation that the Nigerian Police Force, particularly its specialized units such as the Nigerian Police Force National Cybercrime Center, NPF-NCCC, would continue to work closely with the SEC to safeguard Nigeria's financial and economic interests.
Security and Exchange Commission is very critical to the Nigerian economy, and you must have heard from the first PRO that it's part of our vision to support the government in ensuring economic recovery and growth. I want to assure you that if the police unit attached to you is so strengthened, makes so much impact in your enforcement drive, what you said speaks so much to your determination to ensure effective drives in the capital market. And when we're able to achieve effective enforcement, it will increase investor confidence, it will stabilize the market, it will bring about a compliance culture, it will protect the investors, and in the long run, it will help in the economic growth of our country.
Nathan Williams, Rapid TV, Abuja.
Justice Mohammed Umar of the Federal High Court in Abuja has adjourned to March 10th the 1.2 billion naira fundamental rights suit filed by activist Omoyele Sowore against the Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun and others. Sowore is challenging his arrest, detention and arraignment by the police, insisting his constitutional rights were violated. The report. Omoyele Sowore, a Nigerian human rights activist and a former presidential candidate, was arrested on October 23, 2025 by the Nigerian police force at the Federal High Court in Abuja. The arrest was in connection with his involvement in a protest calling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. According to the police, Sowore was arrested for leading protesters into a restricted area, violating a court order. Sowore's lawyers and supporters have condemned the arrest, describing it as an attempt to silence dissenting voices. The activist was granted bail and was released from Kuje prison on October 27, 2025 after fulfilling the bail conditions. But Sowore is not done with the police yet. He is suing the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, for alleged infringement on his fundamental human right before Justice Mohammed Umar of the Federal High Court in Abuja. At the day's proceedings, his counsel, Marshal Abubakar, informed the court that the matter was slated for mention and all the defendants who had been served with hearing notice were not in court. They gave no reason for their absence. He prayed the court that the matter be deemed mention and a date be fixed for a definite hearing and adoption of processes. Consequently, the trial judge, Justice Mohammed Umar, adjourned the matter till March 10th for a definite hearing and directed that the hearing notice be served on all the defendants. Sowore is seeking multiple declarations that his arrest, harassment, restraint, and subsequent arraignment on October 23rd and 24th, 2025 were illegal, oppressive, and unlawful.
Police, led by the anti-vice police squad leader, one CSP Barao, physically assaulted me within the corporate, forced me into their vehicle, and took me to Kuje prison after I had been granted bail. So we said we've had enough. I had to spend 4 nights in Kuje prison that night. So that was the basis of this particular lawsuit.
In the originating motion, Sowore, through his team of lawyers, led by Marshal Abubakar, accused the police of flagrant abuse of power and blatant violation of his constitutionally guaranteed right to liberty, dignity, and movement.
Protest is a fundamental right. That is the threshold. The court has insisted in the plethora of authorities that Nigerians have the liberty and the right to protest and demand for a change of obnoxious government policies and to demand that the government acts in consonance with the law.
Sowore is also asking the court to declare that his harassment, restraints, and detention on the same date violated his freedom of movement under Section 41, subsection 1 of the Constitution and Article 12 of the African Charter. He asked the court to order the AGF to initiate disciplinary actions against the IGP and the FCT Commissioner of Police under relevant laws, including the Anti-Torture Act of 2017 and the Violence Against Persons Act. The suit seeks an order mandating the first to third respondents, IGP, Nigeria Police, and FCT Commissioner to tender a public apology to Sowore in at least 3 national newspapers for violating his right. It also seeks an order compelling the respondents to jointly and severally pay 200 million naira as general damages for the unlawful arrest and detention, and an additional 1 billion naira as punitive and exemplary damages for the illegal violation of his fundamental human rights. Abuja, Godwin Amundi, Rapid Television News. A new political leadership institute is set to emerge in Lagos State. The BAT ideological group has partnered with Lagos State University of Science and Technology to establish the Bola Ahmed Tinubu Institute of Politics and Policies. The agreement was reached during a strategic meeting in Ikorodu, with plans to commence academic activities within 3 months. According to the group's convener, Bamidele Atoyebi, the institute will offer diploma to doctoral programs in political leadership and governance. LASU's Tech has provided a temporary facility pending a permanent structure. The initiative aims to address leadership gaps in Nigeria and will be the first university-based political institute named after a sitting president. There is fresh hope for stability in Nigerians' universities as the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, have signed a new agreement aimed at improving the quality of tertiary education and preventing recurrent strikes. The deal replaces the 2009 agreement that had sparked years of industrial dispute. The agreement includes a 40% salary increment for academic staff and commitment to improved funding and working conditions. ASU President Chris Piwana expressed cautious optimism, saying the union hopes the government will honor its promises without delay. Government officials described the pact as a major step toward restoring confidence in public universities. Both sides emphasized that effective implementation will determine whether the agreement truly delivers lasting peace and stability across Nigeria's higher education sector. Meanwhile, security infrastructure is set to expand in the southeast as the Ebonyi State Governor Francis Nwifuru has donated 618 hectares of land for the establishment of a Nigerian Army training depot in the state. The governor says the initiative will enhance security and create economic opportunities for host communities. Army officials welcomed the donation, describing it as a strategic move to strengthen military presence and improve response capacity in the region. They noted that decentralized training facilities are crucial for operational efficiency. Community leaders were urged to support the project, as authorities say it will contribute to peace, employment, and development. Construction is expected to commence once technical assessments are completed. Anambra State Police Command has arrested a masquerade linked to violent attacks during a cultural festival in Agbo community. The arrest followed videos circulating online showing assault on residents and destruction of property. Police say investigations are ongoing and additional suspects may be apprehended. The command warned that cultural practices must not be used as cover for violence or criminal behavior. Authorities urge community leaders to ensure festivals remain peaceful, stressing that anyone found violating the law will face prosecution regardless of cultural status. In the northeast, the military is reporting fresh gains against insurgents. The Nigerian Air Force says coordinated airstrikes have killed more than 10 ISWAP fighters in parts of Borno and Yobe State. The strikes followed actionable intelligence and aerial surveillance that tracked terrorist movement and logistics routes. Military sources say the operation disrupted insurgent supply lines and degraded their operational capacity. The Air Force stressed that the strikes were conducted with precision to avoid civilian casualties. Security officials say air operations will continue alongside ground offensive as part of efforts to stabilize the northeast. Residents in affected areas have been urged to cooperate with security agencies by providing timely intelligence. In another development, the Nigerian Police Force says coordinated operations across Kogi and Kwara State have led to the rescue of 309 hostages, the arrest of 129 suspects, and the killing of 55 terrorists. Police spokesperson Benjamin Hundi disclosed this during an interview, stressing that those killed died during armed confrontations, not extrajudicial actions. According to Hundi, months of intelligence gathering enabled ground and aerial units to dismantle forest hideout in difficult terrain with no casualties recorded among operatives. He says police units worked alongside the military and other agencies, assuring Nigerians the offensive will continue. Hondiyin described the operation as only the beginning, with security forces determined to eliminate remaining criminal enclaves. Meanwhile, there is relief for families in Kogi State as 24 worshippers adopted from an Ekwa church have regained their freedom after weeks in captivity. The victims were kidnapped during a church service in Kaba, Bunu local government area. Community sources say negotiations led to their release, though details remain undisclosed. The freed worshippers have been reunited with their families and are receiving medical attention. However, concern remains over others still in captivity as local leaders continue to appeal for improved security. Residents are calling on authorities to intensify efforts to protect places of worship and rural communities from criminal attacks. For many residents of the Federal Capital Territory, 2025 has been a year of mixed fortunes. While some are grateful for good health and new opportunities, tough economic conditions continue to bite. Even with a slight drop in food prices, low purchasing power means many families are still struggling to cope. A correspondent, Josephine Bitrus, tells us more in this report.
The year 2025 was a mixed bag globally, with a landmark pandemic agreement, ongoing conflicts, and key elections in Germany and Australia driving geopolitical shifts alongside tech breakthroughs. In Nigeria, the year was marked by major economic reforms, efforts to stabilize the foreign exchange market, worsening insecurity with banditry and terrorism, recurrent grid collapses, and celebrations for its 65th independence, all set against a backdrop of rapid digital growth and challenges like devastating flood. For residents of the FCT, the year has been tough economically, with many struggling to cope with the rising cost of living, yet amidst the struggles, they are counting their blessings.
2025 is very hard for me and my family. In short, Nigeria entirely. Why? Because things are very, very expensive. They were very, very expensive. For instance, food is something that no one can do without. We need food to survive. And it's the same food that was very, very expensive.
2025 it has been very boring to me. It has been very boring to me. Business is not moving. When we buy, Tinubu said this thing have come down, and we don't even see the reaction. When we go to market, we see something very hard, and when we sell it, we do not see our money. So it is very, very boring to me. I did not enjoy 2025 at all.
2025 being boring, very bad to me. The worst part is that they promise us that the youth are leaders of tomorrow. Since when they give us this promise, we have not seen it. Like last year, 2025, we find it difficult to eat, even for transportation, even for where we are doing our businesses. In terms of fuel price, in terms of what we do, everything is cost. Food that we eat is cost. Water that we drink is cost. Everything that we do in this country is money.
You had me well. Through where you do, everybody had enough work, money, fuel, everything is scarce. The grass said nobody chopping in this year. If you want to go balance 200, 300, 600, 100,000, 200,000, how go fit bill and buy something to eat?
It's not easy. The 2025, all about struggling, but at the end of the day, we still glorify the name of God because we are alive.
2025, let me say, I no lost anybody for that 2025.
But they are holding on to hope, fingers crossed that 2026 will bring relief and deliver on some of the government's promises.
My expectation, 2026, let food stuff go down at least, not only food stuff, other things also, because if they said something should go down, as the price of things should go down, it should go for everything, not only food stuff.
My expectation is that make things just stay okay. As he promised us, make things just stay okay for us. So that
my expectation in this 2026, we are not hoping on government. Let me just tell you the real fact. I believe in my hustle. Understand? I believe that if my hustle pays well this year, I will rise again, because for we to talk about government, they promise us, keep promising here and there. Still, you will not see anything.
I'm a 26 hours. Let us go and make our president to make it easy for everybody.
2026, I expect things to improve, to get better. But for things to improve, you have to work it out also. So I'm doing my part. I'm putting my input so I can achieve my expectations for this year. I'm very, very positive about it. I expect things to improve and get better.
My expectation is make price of things come down. Also, like fuel, because we know that the problem of this country, anytime fuel increased, everything increased.
And I still believe that this 2026, by the grace of God, as I see the earth be, so God will still do it for us.
The people are holding on to hope that 2026 will bring better welfare, with security, education, and health care getting the attention they deserve. In Abuja, Josephine Bitrus, Rapid TV.
You're still watching Rapid Television News. We're going to a short break, and when we come back, the news continues. Stay with us.
Correro, your front row seat to the most pressing issues from the corridors of power to the heart of our communities. We bring you unfiltered insight, fearless journalism, and the conversations that matter. And I invite you to this big conversation table as we analyze the top stories, ask the tough questions, and hold power to account. News that informs, analysis that empowers, debate that drives change. Correro, the big conversation, every weekday at 7 p.m. only on Rapid TV.
From the heart of Africa, where dreams are born and passion is boundless, a new wave of talent rises. In La Liga, these extraordinary athletes are not just playing the game, they're transforming it.
Danny Rodriguez, the man chasing, it's Lamine Yamal! What a magnificent goal that is!
They shine on the world stage. Watch as they redefine football, inspire millions, and make history. La Liga, where dreams become reality.
Meet the men and women shaping the future of Nigeria. Get to know your representatives at the National Assembly. From lawmaking to constituency projects, we'll take you behind the scenes and inside the chambers of the Nigerian National Assembly. Learn about the bills they are championing, the challenges they are facing, and the impact they are making in their constituencies. We'll also bring you closer to the people they are serving and the stories that shape their work. Join us on NAS Watch every Friday on Rapid Television at 7 p.m. So get informed, get engaged, and get to know the leaders shaping Nigeria's future.
From the soil beneath our feet to the tables across the world, agriculture is the heartbeat of Nigeria's future. Yet challenges persist: limited finance, outdated methods, policy gaps, and untapped opportunities. The Green Line is here to change that. A groundbreaking weekly television feature that connects policy with practice, farmers with markets, and innovation with impact. We dig deep into the full agricultural value chain, from land preparation to mechanization, financing, food preservation, exports, and beyond. The Green Line isn't just a show, it's a national development platform. Join me every Friday at 11 a.m. only on Rapid TV, Star Times Channel 176, and online at www.rbnradiotv.com.
This is Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. We connect people, power stories, and amplify voices. On Rapid TV, we're rooted in culture and your window to the stories that matter. From news to lifestyle, we inform, entertain, and uplift. Join Rapid TV on Star Times Channel 176, Nightcom Sat, On Rapid FM, we speak your language from the soulful airwaves of Umuahia to the vibrant culture of Port Harcourt and beyond. More than broadcasters, we're creators, amplifying that voice within with powerful content across TV, radio, and digital. Join us at rbnradiotv.com and all our social media handles. One network, one voice. Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN, the sound of your city. Rooted in truth, driven by impact.
You're just joining us to watch our Rapid Television News. Now let's take you to some business stories. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, says Nigerian economy showed resilience in the second half of 2025. OPEC says Nigeria's economic growth in late 2025 was driven by a strong non-oil sector despite declining oil production. In its latest report, OPEC noted improved inflation, a stronger naira, and better remittance inflows. Crude output fell to 1.42 million barrels per day in December, below quarter. Meanwhile, Finance Minister Wale Edun has hinted at possible interest rate cuts if inflation continues to slow. The central bank, however, has maintained a 27% policy rate. Analysts say easing rates could reduce debt servicing costs and boost economic recovery. Up next, small business reports coming your way.
This is the Business News Update. I am Josephine Bitrus. Today, we begin with Nigeria's economy as policymakers and businesses monitor early year trends. Economic managers say stabilizing revenue collection remains a key priority in 2026. Non-oil revenue growth is expected to support government spending plans. Authorities are pushing for greater tax compliance and transparency. Debt servicing continues to consume a significant portion of national revenue. Private sector operators are closely watching fiscal measures for clarity. Analysts say strong fiscal management will be crucial to sustaining growth this year. Still in Nigeria, focus shifts to trade, industry, and private sector activity. Manufacturers report cautious production plans due to high input and energy costs. Retailers say consumer spending remains moderate following the holiday season. Exporters continue to navigate logistics challenges and foreign exchange volatility. Small and medium-sized enterprises are seeking better access to affordable credit. Analysts note that easing operational costs could boost business confidence. Overall investment sentiment is expected to improve with policy clarity. And internationally, global markets opened the week cautiously as investors weigh economic risks. Take two. Global equities traded mixed amid uncertainty over growth and inflation. Investors remained focused on interest rate expectations and central bank guidance. Commodity prices showed modest changes, particularly in energy and metals. Currency markets remained largely stable with minor fluctuations. Geopolitical developments continue to influence market sentiment. Analysts say volatility is likely to persist until clearer economic signals emerge. And that's the Business News Update. For more stories, follow us across our digital platforms. I am Josephine Bitrus. Have a very good evening.
Protests have erupted in Minneapolis following another ICE-related shooting. Tensions flared after an ICE agent shot a Venezuelan migrant during a traffic stop, just a week after fatal ICE shooting in the city. Authorities say the suspect fled, resisted arrest, and attacked the officer alongside two others, prompting the agent to fire in self-defense. The man sustained non-life-threatening injuries. Protests quickly followed, with police declaring an unlawful assembly and deploying chemical irritants. State and city officials, including Governor Tim Waz and Mayor Jacob Free, appealed for calm, urging peaceful protest as federal and state agencies investigate the incidents. Let's now take you to the foreign scene for more global updates.
A warm welcome to tonight's international news of violations. Now to space. 4 astronauts aboard the International Space Station left the orbiting laboratory a month ahead of schedule after a medical emergency prompted the first medical evacuation since the ISS began operations in 1998. The crew, known as Crew 11, are expected to splash down off the coast of California in the early hours of Thursday local time. NASA said one member became ill, but did not release details beyond confirming the individual is in a stable condition. Control of the ISS has been handed to Russian cosmonaut Sergei Kudzhavchukov and 2 other crewmates. The returning astronauts Mike Finke, Zina Kardman, Kimiya Yu of Japan and Oleg Platonov arrived on August the 1st with plans for a 6.5-month stay due to end in mid-February. A planned spacewalk by Finke and Kardman was cancelled last week. Despite the disruption, Kudzhavchukov said the remaining crew would continue to perform scientific tasks and maintenance. The incident marks a rare early departure in the ISS program's history. Finally, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney arrived in China today for a visit described by officials as a recalibration of strained relations. He is the first Canadian leader to visit China since 2017 and is scheduled to meet Chinese Presidents Xi Jinping and Premier Li Qiang. Relations soured after Canada arrested a Huawei executive in December 2018, an action that Beijing attributed to political interference and retaliated against 2 Canadians in 2024. In 2024, Ottawa followed Washington's lead by imposing 100% tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, prompting Beijing to retaliate with duties on some Canadian agricultural goods, including canola. Ottawa has accused China of ongoing political interference. Analysts say the visit signals Canada's intent to diversify its economy beyond the United States, with Carney seeking new markets for energy and agriculture. This is probably Prime Minister Carney's second most challenging trip after his first visit to the White House, said Veena Najibullah of the Asia Pacific Foundation of Canada. While a broad thaw is unlikely, observers expect talks to focus on concrete economic deals and potential steps towards improving dialogue. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening. I am Arthur James Brooks.
Now let's move on to some sports stories. Despite AFCON elimination, the federal government has praised the Super Eagles for their fighting spirit following Nigeria's semi-final exit at the 2025 African Cup of Nations. The team lost to Morocco on penalties after a tense encounter in Rabat. Information Minister Mohammed Idris praised the players for unity, resilience and discipline, saying they made Nigerians proud. He urged the team to learn from the experience and return stronger. Morocco will now face Senegal in the final. The government says the Eagles' performance reflects the true Nigerian spirit of determination and hope. Meanwhile, 2 Super Eagles stars have been named among the best of AFCON semis. Goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali and defender Calvin Bassey have been named in the best 11 of the AFCON semi-finals by SofaScore. Nwabali earned 10 goalkeeper honors after key saves during Nigeria's penalty loss to Morocco, while Bassey impressed defensively. However, Bassey will miss the third-place match against Egypt due to suspension. Despite Nigerians' exit, analysts say both players stood out and boosted their international reputations. In another development, the Super Falcons now know their group opponent for WAFCON 2026. Defending champions Nigerian Super Falcons have been drawn in Group C of the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations alongside Zambia, Egypt and Malawi. Matches will be played in Casablanca, Morocco Nigeria previously defeated Zambia 5-0 in the last edition and will face Malawi for the first time. With 16 teams participating, the Falcons are targeting a record extending 11th title when the tournament kicks off from March 17 to April 3rd. And that's about the size of the news tonight. But before we go, a recap of our major stories. Nigeria honors fallen serving military heroes. Police snap Ngige convoy attackers, 2 killed in gunfight. In the news, we also told you that non-oil sector lifts Nigerians' second quarter 2025 growth, says OPEC. Many police protest after ICE agents shoot Venezuelan migrant. And in sports, Wabeli Bassi named AFCON semis best 11. Thanks very much for being with us tonight. I am Godwin Amundi. Do have yourself a lovely and peaceful night rest.